Hey everybody, this is Maxine Taylor with another edition of Move Into the Magic. And some of you, of course, know my guest today. If you have been watching my YouTube channel or perhaps her blog or her YouTube channel, you know who Catherine Carrigan is. Not only is she a dear friend of mine, but she is a brilliant medical intuitive, an Amazon #1 best-selling author, and the list goes on and on. I've invited her to be my guest several times when I've talked with her about her books that she's written. However, most recently, I've invited her to be my guest so that she could show everybody at a time when love is so important, when she could give a medical intuitive reading on the people who are running our country. So she gave one on Donald Trump, she did one for Steve Bannon, and today I've invited her to do her brilliant work on Melania Trump. Now, before we get started, I want to just remind everybody that neither Catherine nor I express our own personal opinions on my show. This is not a platform that I use to share my opinion, nor does Catherine, because in the larger scheme of things, we are all spirit and earthbound bodies. And this is her approach, and it's a beautiful approach. So, Catherine, welcome again to Move Into the Magic. Take it away.
Thank you, Maxine. So I'm doing a medical intuitive reading today on Melania Trump, arguably one of the most beautiful women in the world. And once again, this is a medical intuitive reading, not a political reading. So I'd like to start by talking about Melania. Now, of course, most of the people who come to me have some kind of health issue that they are dealing with, and they're wanting insight about. Today, I just did a medical intuitive reading on a young man who passed away suddenly, and his family didn't understand why he passed away. The autopsy showed no conclusions. He wasn't on any medications. So it's typical for me to do medical intuitive readings on people who are unwell. It is a delight for me to do a medical intuitive reading on somebody who's extremely healthy, and Melania Trump, age 46, falls into that category. Now, so when I do a medical reading, intuitive reading, I start with a person's overall chi level. This is their overall life energy. So people who take exquisite care of themselves can have very high levels of chi, up in the high 80s. I rarely see anybody in the 90s, but Melania Trump's overall chi level is 86 out of 100. So she is exceptionally healthy. Now, the next thing that I look at is what is their most stressed organ. So Melania's most stressed organ is actually her spleen. And that reveals to me that she's a quiet warrior, because the emotion of worry affects our spleen. So her spleen's 34 out of 100. What I see in general is that she takes assiduous care of herself, and she really does her best to avoid stress and to relax. She knows that she needs to relax. Now, what's interesting also was I looked at what is her body type. There's a wonderful system of body typing developed by an author by the name of Carrigan. And this very brilliant system names your body type by your dominant organ. And Melania is a gonadal body type. So just as the gonads are a pleasure center in the body, the nature of the gonadal body type is to create pleasure and to be playful. However, gonadal types are prone to being controlled by their emotions. Difficulty focusing or concentrating is typical when they are tired or stressed. So as I said, she has to really watch her stress level. I think she is aware about that about herself. To compensate, gonadal types do no-brainer tasks like shopping, weeding the garden, or other routine tasks. Playtime or time to completely relax is essential, as it allows them to reconnect with their essence. So other gonadal body types are Marilyn Monroe and Jennifer Lopez, two very famous beauties. Now, gonadal body type personality. So they create beauty and pleasure and are playful. They're very good mothers. They usually do extremely well during childbirth. Childbirth is natural for them. So they have strong sexual energy that make them physically attractive. They're emotional and physically expressive. They easily show their anger and their hurt, as well as their affection, nurturing, and joy. They don't handle stress well. And again, I think that Melania's aware of this. So playtime is important for her to maintain a positive outlook. In social settings, she brings out the best in others with a special ability to recognize and appreciate the feeling of others. And when I read the energy system, she's operating primarily out of the third chakra. So she reads people, their energy of people, and does nonverbal readings of them. So she has a special ability to recognize, appreciate the feelings of others, and to offer emotional support. She's people-oriented and task-oriented and thrives on substantial human contact. So she's emotionally sensitive and feels other pain and tries to assist them. She enjoys helping others to see their own beauty as she sees the beauty in herself, and by enhancing their appearance or beautifying their environment. She's results-oriented with more of an eye for the big picture than the details. She likes to see her efforts quickly make a difference, often jumping enthusiastically into a project without fully considering what she needs to finish it. So her self-worth is related to how others perceives her accomplishments. Now, again, by nature, she creates pleasure and likes to be playful. When she's tired or stressed, she has difficulty focusing or concentrating. Now, so a gonadal body type, a natural mother, and excuse me, my little puppy here is making a lot of noise here.
I wondered who was scraping the floor.
Yes, scraping the floor. Her tennis ball is stuck under a bookcase. Now, on the energetic level, Melania tends to operate out of her third chakra. So this is the center for our clairsentience. So she's very good at reading people in a nonverbal way and reading the energy and emotions from people. So she'd be very good at the psychic gift of clairsentience and helping her husband to read the energy of other people. Now, on the emotional level, her primary emotion is the same of her husband's, Donald Trump's, which is pride. This is the primary emotion of the U.S. Marine Corps. This is the emotion that keeps your brass buttons polished and your uniform crisp. So they both resonate to the frequency of pride. Now, on the mental level, I found that Melania's Enneagram is type 3, the performer. So 3s are motivated by money, goals, achievements, titles, promotion, and recognitions. 3s in the Enneagram are self-assured, they're attractive, and they're charming. They're ambitious, they're confident, and they're energetic. And they can also be status conscious and highly driven for advancement. They're diplomatic and poised, but can also be overly concerned with their image and what others think of them. I don't think Melania is a workaholic, but she's very disciplined. A good word for her is discipline. So at their best, they're self-accepting, authentic, and role models who inspire others. And Melania is definitely a role model to other women, not only for her beauty, but in her ability to take care of herself and in her capacity as a mother, which is a big focus for her. So key motivations for type 3 Enneagram people are wanting to be affirmed, to distinguish themselves from others, to have attention, to be admired, and to impress others. Now, she is, again, a type 3 in the Enneagram, and excuse me, my puppy is bothering me. And so they are ambitious. So she's a level 3 on the Enneagram of this particular type, and she's ambitious to improve herself, to be the best she can be, and often becoming outstanding, a human ideal, embodying widely admired cultural qualities. They are motivated to be liked in some positive way. And again, she's very liked and admired for her beauty and her ability to be a mother. Now, on the spiritual level, her archetypes are a storyteller. And again, it's always so much fun for me to be I'm gonna have to throw the tennis ball here for my puppy, to do a medical intuitive reading. I get so much insight about people from doing a medical intuitive reading. So I did not know this about her, that she's a storyteller. So storytellers are people who influence others by telling a story. And she's definitely crafted her own personal story very carefully in the media as this beauty who has come to win the heart of a very rich man. Another archetype for her is angel. So she sees herself as an angel. And I would not be surprised if she was a major philanthropist and someone who sees herself as a little bit of a rescuer and being an angel to others and bringing in blessings. She's obviously a queen archetype. She is the queen to Donald Trump's king. And she also heavily embodies the mother archetype. I think that at this point in her life, that being a mother she views that as her primary responsibility. She has a division of labor with her husband, and she views herself as the mother while he is the provider. And also another one of her spiritual archetypes that may be a surprise to many people is nun. So again, she's able to be very self-disciplined and also renouncing a lot of the excess that you might think typical of someone of that socioeconomic group. So again, she's operating out of the gift of clairsentience, non-verbally assessing the energy of the people and places around her. Now, on a spiritual level, when I looked at what karma that she needs to release, if she was my client, and again, she's an extremely healthy individual, so she does not need help with her physical health. She's a good example and a role model of how to have really excellent life energy. And she's very good at protecting her own energy, even in the pressure of a political campaign and a political life. She's very good at protecting that because I think she is aware how much stress affects her. But that said, if she was my client, I would do a karmic healing with her to release the need for material objects to feel whole and satisfied. So there are many karmic contracts that we deal with as human beings. And thanks for bearing with me. My puppy is definitely distracting me today. So she needs to release the need for material objects to feel whole and satisfied. So I think that is why she has attracted the wealth in her life, is that she needs this extreme wealth in order to feel whole and satisfied. Now, she also has a karmic contract with her husband, Donald Trump. Now, you would think, well, of course, she's married to him. Of course, she has a karmic contract. Now, not necessarily. Just because you're married to someone doesn't necessarily mean that you have a spiritual contract. And when I looked at what this karmic contract is about, what I found was that it's actually about family. And that family, I think, is one of her top values, not only as a mother archetype, but in general. We tend to operate out of our values, and she's very much values family. And I think that they had a karmic contract together around family, to create family. And she indeed has strengthened his family and is the head of the family. Of course, he's had 2 other wives, but she has established herself in establishing this family for him and providing this family to support him. So this is her realm. The family is her realm, and it's her main focus. And I believe that is what the karmic contract that she has with Donald Trump is about, is actually family. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for bearing with my puppy. This is Catherine Carrigan of CatherineCarrigan.com.
Well, I want to, before I let you go and before we let the puppy out, I want to comment on a couple of things that validate what some astrological aspects that validate what you have shared with us today. First of all, Melania, we do not have a birth time on her, but she has 4 planets in Taurus. She is a Taurian. Taurus rules money. Taurus rules practical, logical approaches to things. They're very, they take it slow and easy, and things are very, very important to the Taurian, particularly if you have 4 planets in Taurus. And I've already done the comparison between Trump and Melania on my Trumpology report. So those of you who study astrology will find astrological validation of what Catherine has shared with us today. She's in it for the long haul, absolutely. Now, when I compared her chart to Donald Trump's, she, of course, her Venus, the planet of beauty, and enhances his public image. And boy, that's exactly what she does. When she is on his arm, she makes him look good. It's like he has captured the beauty, which is awesome. She truly is beautiful. And you mentioned the importance of family, and if I remember correctly, from chart to chart, some of her planets fall into Donald Trump's 4th house of home and family and fulfilling his desire for that. And I forget what they are now, because I didn't know I was even gonna share this, but I wanted to really back up what you were saying, because it is so visible in the comparison between those 2 charts. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I looked there, Maxine, you would have thought that maybe they had a karmic contract to bring out the best in each other, or something along that line, or to propel each other forward, or for spiritual growth. That wasn't it. It was all about family. So I think that she's providing that nest for him and that strong family base from which he can go forward and do the work that he feels that he's here to do.
Yes, and I feel like he has provided her with the wherewithal so that she has her dream as a child, if what they say on Wikipedia is true, and I've researched it. It was to leave Slovenia and to come to the United States, and she was a very well-known model, and he has provided her the comfort that allows her to be there for their son, because after all, she's still in New York City. She has not moved into the White House, and has said that she didn't want to until his school year was over. Now, to me, that's a very nurturing thing to do, a very maternal thing. She's putting her child's values, the best of her child, as number one. She knows she doesn't need to be there with him, Trump, but she does need to be there for his child and give him the nurturing that only she can.
Yes, and I think she realizes that she needs to nurture herself. I think there was a lot of discussion about whether or not she's had plastic surgery. I think that Melania's #1 beauty secret is actually relaxation, deep relaxation. She realizes that she's very sensitive to pressure. She doesn't like pressure, and I think this is the main reason why you see her away and out of the fray so much. She doesn't want to be in the spotlight. She's comfortable being in the spotlight, but being the target, as it were, is not comfortable for her at all. Not that it would be comfortable to anyone, but again, she's known throughout her life that she has to relax, and that, I think, is her number one beauty secret, is just deep relaxation on a regular daily basis.
Well, let's not forget that Taurus is ruled by Venus, the planet of beauty, and Taurians do have that Venusian influence innately. It's just it's just awesome. I'm sure that we'll be hearing more about her and from her, because recently she has been in the news more, which is why I invited you to do this wonderful medical intuitive reading on her. And thank you, Catherine, for being here today, as always. And of course, we had the added pleasure of being with your puppy, which is delightful. So I would like you to come back again and do a medical intuitive, perhaps when the puppy is napping, we don't know. But that you have so much to add. I really feel, as I've told you, that this is the reason you came to this planet. What you do, this gift that you have to look at somebody the way you do, is so inspiring and so uplifting. So I look forward to many, many more shows with you, my dear friend.
Thank you, Maxine. I appreciate it. And thanks everyone out there in the audience listening.
And watching.
And watching.
Yes. Thank you, audience, for always being there. And join me again next time when, once again, we move into the magic. And keep in mind that when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Till next time. Bye for now.